Hello everyone, welcome to week number 4 of the Horror Man Slashback Challenge. And the theme for this week is slasher classics. Now by that he means films that would have made the video nasties list. Now this film that I chose today, I'm not sure it made the list, but I know it was censored by the British Film Certification Board. And that film is Don't Answer the Phone. And this one stars Nicholas Worth. This is really his film, but for some reason he's forced billed on this one. This is a very random slasher film. The thing I do like about this film is since it was produced before the big slasher boom, it doesn't really feel like a slasher film. Like it's not about a bunch of teenagers that go to the middle of nowhere and then end up getting killed. This one is kind of similar to like Maniac, where you have this guy stalking the streets, um, looking for female victims. The reason why I chose this film is this one's a little misogynistic. Most of the female characters in this movie exist only to get naked and get killed, um, and almost all of them get naked from what I can remember. Now, in this film, Nicholas Worth's character is obsessed with a radio psychologist, and he calls in every day trying to talk to her, and he even stalks a couple of his victims, and that's what the film really should have been about. But he only really goes after one of his victims, and somehow when he finally attacks her, he seems to know what her hang up is, which is kind of weird because he didn't really like hear anything. There's no way he could have known. Um, I don't want to get too much in the scene. You'll know the scene when you see it. This is a very odd movie. Um, the one thing about this film is it's one half crazed killer movie like Maniac and one half police procedural. And there is a lot of different locations in this film, so I think they must have had a decent budget for this. Although the stuff with the police investigation doesn't work as well. It's very oddball. There's a scene where they're looking for a witness, and normally this kind of scene in a film is done as a montage. But I don't think the director knew how to do a montage. So what he did was he had all these people stand on a street corner, and it was shot in real time, and they had the detectives talk to each and every one of them. It was a very odd scene, but also very amusing. Um, Another thing too is the main detective and a psychiatrist end up becoming an item during the story, but when I watched, they had a love scene, and in the love scene, it was really awkward looking, the way it was shot and the way it came out. But I read up on the film, and I found out that the main two actors didn't like each other, James Westmoreland and Flo Lawrence. So on the day when they were going to shoot the lovemaking scene, um, Flo Lawrence actually went out and ate a whole bunch of onions, and then James Westmoreland refused to shave. So they're trying to make each other as miserable as possible for this lovemaking scene. So and it actually shows when you actually watch the movie. The kills are pretty good. The film doesn't get really bloody until the end. This is almost one of those so bad it's good kind of films. Mainly because of Nicholas Worth. Like he does a lot of improvising in his film, and you can really tell, and it makes it really odd. Like a lot of his scenes, he has some weird dialogue. Mainly when he's having conversations with his imaginary father or just working out, and it's always some of these scenes. It's like you can't see anything behind him. There's no background. It's just all black. Another thing too, he's also a photographer, which probably should have been worked more into the movie. He only does a couple kills based off his photography, but so I'm not sure what they're trying to do. Like, I wonder what this film would have been if it had been produced a little bit after the boom. Like this one was in between Friday the 13th and Halloween. Um, so I guess films were a bit different back then. It's kind of I always have it in my mind what a slasher film is, and this film technically isn't it, but I did enjoy this one. All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed this review. As always, I will put a link to Joe's most recent review in the description box. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you all later.